Now this section is the speaking section. Now the speaking section is considered to be one of the difficult section for many people. Now what happens? Well, somebody has asked me that will all listening sections be based on the problem or issue or theme? No, this is the first question I have discussed here in the listening section, and most of the questions in the listening section would be based on some problem or the issue. Obviously, they would discuss, right? So now let's move on to the next section, which is the speaking section. As I discussed, it is uh, regarding the most difficult section. Now, why it is considered to be the most difficult section? It's because you have to listen to the question, plan it, and then speak it. At times, it happens when we start speaking, we have so many thoughts, but they go haywire. We don't plan them. We are unable to plan our response, and then we miss out the most important part in the question or in the response that we want to give. Now, how to deal such issues and how to actually tackle such kind of questions, we will discuss it in detail. But first, let us know what are the question types in speaking section. Now, the first task is the independent task. In this independent task, you will be given a familiar opinion-based question wherein they'll ask you a very simple question. They may ask you a place that you have visited quite often and which is your favorite place. You need to describe that. Now, this is again a very simple question, but yet you would say, what to discuss in that? I can just name the place, and what else? You can say, I can say 1 2, but how should I frame my answer? And you get only 15 seconds to prepare, and you have to speak for 45 seconds. Now for that, there are strategies that we will be discussing. The next type of questions are you would find an independent task, a familiar opinion based question. This is also called a versus question. Now, versus questions, they would give you two options. They would say, what would you like? What would you prefer? Would you prefer homemade food or a restaurant food? So, in that, you have to give your opinion and select and give out and reason out why do you want that? Why do you give that response? Next is the integrated task. Now, in this, again, students find it difficult because it has a reading and listening combined. And then you have to speak. You have to read out a lecture and then listen to a lecture and then respond and then speak accordingly. Next question is again an integrated task, which is again based on reading and listening. And then the preparation time given here is 30 seconds and response time is 60 seconds. The fifth task is also an integrated task wherein reading and listening are combined. And then timing is also the same. Then you have the last is the integrated task, reading and listening. Again, that would be 30 and 60. But then in all these questions, the lectures would be based on some academic issue, wherein the issues would be the same, but one you would read, another one you would listen, right? So let's move on to the first question type, the independent task. Now, again, here I would say that you need to take notes in this section as well, which is very important, and students usually do not do that. They avoid taking notes. You can just scribble on your piece of paper, whatever you carry. You can scribble your notes. You need to understand what you have written here. So take notes the moment you hear the questions. Don't wait for the beep sound to come and then take the notes. Start taking the moment you hear the question. Now, take care of your rate of speech. Now, rate of speech is actually how you speak and what should be the correct rate of speech. Now, once you practice, You can practice, you can notice it on your own. The correct or the right rate of speech, I would say, is 140 to 160 words per minute. So you can take care of your rate of speech also, because if you speak too fast, the person would not be able to understand your answer. Even if you answer quite well, you would not be given marks on that. Then, if you speak too slow, you would not be able to express your ideas, right? So, in both the cases, it would not be good for you. You would not be able to score. Then, the next thing, do not use fillers like hmm, mm. And there are people those you use a certain phrase again and again. So these are called fillers in spoken English. So we should avoid such fillers, because you will lose marks if you will use these fillers. Now, fillers, why do we call them fillers? Because you are not able to actually relate to your thoughts and your articulation. So, whatever you're thinking, you're not able to articulate that, you are not able to speak that. So, you use fillers. So, people use fillers just to accommodate the time to get the ideas in their mind or to get the word that they want to use. So, avoid this part as well. Now, for the task 1 and 2, keep 2 to 3 reasons handy with you for with examples for your opinion, right? So even if you are given a very simple topic, at least 2 reasons you can get, and then you can elaborate those 2 reasons. Now, the best way to answer or to frame your response would be, you can start your response saying, in my view, or according to me, I, whatever the question is asked, for 2 to 3 reasons, for 2 or 3, whatever number of reasons you have got, you can say 2 to 3 reasons. First, give the reason, then give the example for that, then state the second reason and give another example, and then sum up whatever you have said in the conclusion. So your answer would be rounded off, wherein you have discussed, you have shared your reasons with examples and a conclusion. So they would look for such answers which are full, rounded off questions and responses. Now let's take, and for task 3 and 4, write your notes again. Who opposes and who supports. Now, in this, you usually, not usually, I would say every time you get a male and female conversation. So, 2 people, one male and one female would be there. And then one would be opposing it and the other one would be supporting it. So, in that, you can again make notes. You can see the kind of table I have presented here. You can say opinion, listening by a male, right? And the female opinion, reason 1, reason 2, reason 1, reason 2, right? And then for task 5 and 6, you can make your notes and summarize. So in the same way, you can change your notes into your speaking strategy. Now, how can you do that? Let's move on to a question. Now, the question here is, what is the most important characteristic in a teacher? Now, I would want you people, other than these two, means the one that I have placed here, I would want you people to think of 2 reasons or 2 things, that one thing and reasons for that. What you want to be a characteristic in a good teacher. What do you think they are? I would want everyone to give me one characteristic and 2 reasons. Make notes. It's the first task. Your opinion means your answer, and then 2 reasons. In short, in one word, one characteristic and 2 reasons. Okay, okay. Now, I am receiving responses, but I would want you people to get two reasons for what you are saying. You need to reason out your answer. Experienced. Okay. Great. Very good response. Mm-hmm. Okay. Right. Very good. Very good. Very good. Very good. So I guess you people can. Very good. I've received a response with the reasons as well. Someone says it's patience, and the person has given me two responses as well. Students learn at a different rate than one another. The second reason may have to repeat the same things over and over for better understanding. Good. Okay. Interesting. Right. Right. So let's move on. And how can you frame your answer? Let's see how can you plan. Now, what I feel, so my preparation time was 15 seconds, as I've given it to you people as well. So my answer is knowledge, as somebody has shared experience, patience. Now, I have two reasons to say that. Now, one is learn more, and the second reason, fun. Now, this part, the one I've read just now, is my notes. Like, this is the notes part, right? Now, how will I elaborate this when once I start speaking? There is a sample response that I have here. In my view, knowledge is the most important characteristic in a teacher for two reasons. First, we can learn more as teachers with vast knowledge have so much to give. For example, when I was in grade 10, my math teacher used to share new techniques to solve the questions, new and interesting facts and questions to challenge us. Second, we can have fun while learning. For example, when I was in grade 11, our English teacher used to teach in different ways, using games and activities which made the class interesting. That is why, in my view, knowledge is the most important characteristic in any teacher. Now, if you observe, my answer is quite planned. I shared my point of view, I shared my stance in the first sentence. Then, the first example that I have given, here is we can learn more. In my notes, I have written learn more. Now, when I have shared the reason, with that I have given one example. When I have given the second reason, I have given the second example, and I rounded off my answer giving the conclusion that is why. So you can frame your answers accordingly. Yes, you can. There's a question here, should we be personalized in our speech? Yes, you can. They actually want you to do that. Okay, so let's move on, because the question also, if you see, are personalized. They at times they ask you what is your favorite toy, what is your favorite place. So you can personalize, you can use I.